Welcome to another day at the Amethyst Center Sanctuary for Healing with Nature. And today we're talking about dowsing clear. So, as you very well know, there's a lot of crazy energy running around in the world today. A big part of it because there is an intense energy wave coming in from galactic sources, which is pushing out people's dark energy, people's shadows to be healed. Meanwhile, back at the farm, people who are highly empathic and pick up on energy at places and from people are having a hard time with it. So I thought I would share today the idea of dowsing clear. There's all kinds of dowsing. You can use dowsing to get yes and no answers. You can use dowsing to find water. My mom had a guide that found where she needed to put her well after she spent a couple $1,000 just digging holes. You can use dowsing on a map to find various locations. There's many ways to use dowsing, but one of the ways that Raymond Grace, who's an internationally famous dowser from out of Southwest Virginia, and I'm in Virginia also, he taught us how to clear the energy in places using a spinning technique with the dowsing rod or a bobber, and it works really well in places, especially where you can't smudge, where the smell affects people. I've known people douse clear. They'll just go to the bathroom and they'll douse clear their office building or whatever. And teachers use it for their classrooms. One friend of mine who son was in, I think at that time in junior high school, they had a lot of violence there at the school, and people's grades weren't very good, and she started dousing clear the school every morning before he went and raised up the energy, and the whole atmosphere changed. It's amazing. So it's really something that's very useful. One thing that Raymond does, and I've done also, is that I'll be, if I'm out driving and I go through a battlefield like Manassas, I'll douse clear the battleground and clear the ghost just while I'm driving through. So it doesn't take an awful lot to do it because you're not really the person doing it. The spirit in nature, your dowsing guides, the chief healing angels, the white light spiritual masters, they're the ones doing the work, and the dowsing seems to create a portal that makes things happen. So there's a bit of physics here. When you douse counterclockwise, and I don't know on the when you're watching it on YouTube, it may look backwards, but when you douse counterclockwise, which is anti-sun, when you douse counterclockwise, it releases energy. And this is so everywhere except below the equator, the gravitation is opposite. Okay, so when you raise the energy, you douse clockwise. So you always want to clear the energy and then raise the energy up to the most beneficial point. And so we're going to start out dowsing now. This is the dowsing chart, and you can find out all kinds of things once you get to a level of finding out where the energy is on the dowsing chart. So if you have a pendulum, pause for a moment, find your pendulum. If you don't, a necklace like my Life Force necklaces, I use those a lot for dowsing because the copper coils on them enable you to douse, and they don't pick up any negative energy that you're clearing. or even a bolt on a string will do. The old-time herb grannies used to douse for where the plants were. To find plants, they dig up a wild onion, and it's heavier on the bottom, and they just hold it by one of the fronds and use that for a dowsing tool. So it doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be weighted on the bottom and has to have a string. So you want to hold it so you have about 4 or 5 inches, and kind of wind it over your string, and your string over your finger here, so your energy will go into it. So we're going to douse clear, and just listen to what I say. Okay, so what we want to do is scramble, neutralize, delete any non-beneficial energy, entities, thought forms, heavy metals, curses, hexes, that is in and around your home and here. So scrambling, neutralizing, and deleting is the functional word here. Clearing, 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 clearing. So you just kind of douse till you get a thumbs up inside your head, till you get a yes, or it'll just quit by itself. And if you have to breathe out, that means probably that something's come up within you that's being cleared too. So just, breathe it out. Okay. Okay, I'm giving it a thumbs up. Yay. So in watching this, our intent is to send energy out through the internet to your home. So this will work for your home. Certainly when Raymond Grace makes magic water or does dowsing clearing and you watch him, it affects the people that are watching him and the area. So we're trying to do the same thing here, because we have a lot of really high vibe and very high spiritual masters and angels and nature spirits helping us out. So now we're going to go clockwise, and remember what I said, clockwise lifts the energy and raises the energy. So we're going to go clockwise, and we want to raise the energy up to its highest potential for health, happiness, joy, well-being, prosperity, harmony, balance. Raising the energy up to its highest potential. Thank you, thank you, thank you in advance. So we'll keep going. Okay, great. So now I'm going to use my little dowsing chart that we showed you before. Use this dowsing chart. Put on my glasses so I can see what the heck's going on. Okay, so where is the energy right now? Here. Oh, wow. Okay. It's at 92. All right. So you can go on to Raymond Grace's site probably and find out where to download the charts like this. I'll include it in the class handouts if you're going to be taking my Practical Shamanism Enlightened Self-Care class. That will be part of your handouts that you get. And so what you can do is you can do a before and see where the energy was before. Okay, so if we track back in time a little bit, what was the energy here before we doused it? It was like 78 out of 100. So after we doused it clear and raised it up, it was better than 90, which is a significant raise. So anything better than 80 on this dowsing chart is healthy. And it's where you want a home to be, and it's where you want your body to be, at least. There's also some other things that you can find, um, like positive 5 is a teacher, positive 10 is a metaphysician, positive 15 is a fanatic, positive 20 is a reformer, positive 25 is a crusader, positive 30 is a religious fanatic, and there's a whole bunch of other things that you can test for. Um, and it's quite interesting before you get involved and invest in an organization or a person to douse and see what the energy is and see if it's worth your time, and the energy expense of connecting with people like that. Short term, it's okay, but if it's like a job or a long term relationship, you kind of want to know where you are. So, this is a very good aid to your intuition. And what happens after you douse for a long time is you start being able to feel the rise, or the sinking of your own energy, uh, like you do when you're dowsing, to tell whether something is good for you or not. You know, wouldn't that be handy? Wouldn't that be helpful? So now let's think about a place that we all want to get together and douse for. Um, Perhaps we ought to send some clearing to Washington, D.C., um, and raise the energy there, because you can't govern, you can't even think very well. You certainly can't be healthy on a mental, emotional, or spiritual level where there's a lot of really dense, low, and dark energy. So, calling in all of the angels, and the angels in particular that work with this kind of thing. What we want to do is scramble, going counterclockwise, scramble, neutralize, and delete any non beneficial energies or entities or thought forms, chemicals, heavy metals, radiation, um, jinn, curses, or hexes that apply to the District of Columbia and the people therein. Okay, so even if you're not dowsing, say a little prayer, add some energy onto it. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up. That didn't take as long as I thought. Oh man. Okay, so now let's raise the energy up. Um, we want to welcome in the new golden age. We want to welcome in harmony and sustainability and joy, and all of the good fifth dimensional love based, uh, and sustainable living practices, and unity. Okay, so going clockwise, all those things we talked about, and even more than we can even think, because the angels and the masters and the um, spirit of nature and the beneficial loving star nations, they can see the future. They can see the highest potential. So we're just dowsing now for the highest potential for our nation and the governance of our nation. Lifting that up. Lifting. Whew. Okay, great. And it's still going. So I'm seeing some really bright, white, luminous light that has some pastel colors just kind of flowing through it. Reminds me of a rainbow moonstone. I make rainbow moonstone life force amulets now and then, or maybe a fire opal. That kind of ray is coming in to uplift. So just imagine that. resetting. Okay, so giving thanks in advance as we welcome in the light of a brand new day. So be it, so it is. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So play this again, get out your dowsing tool and keep doing it. And you can, just work on one place at a time and then power up. What I always do before I work is I'll power up. I do circular breathing, or I work with the sun, I power up. When you're making medicine, which is anything that's helping and healing, you always want to do it from an empowered and powered up place. So I powered up and then I douse. So douse, you spend a little bit of energy when you're doing it. So douse and then power up and wait a little bit and then focus on another target and make yourself a list of places that you feel that needs some help. Always include your own home and probably your office, but then start working on the places and homes of your friends and family, and then even public figures. And it's something that we can do as energy workers and as shamanic practitioners that helps the world. So, and it's simple, so why not give it a shot? Which is one of Raymond's favorite sayings, just give it a shot. So with this, I close and I say, walk in balance.